When Hamza first dropped Adonis Gang, I was hyped. I wanted to join Adonis school so bad, but I just did not have the money for it. And I was not the only one, because what he offered us for pretty much no money was truly incredible. A community with like-minded young men on the path of self-improvement, like ourselves, all bundled together in one place. A place where you can ask questions and have actual successful people give you advice. Where you can grow your success in any endeavor you wish. Business, girls, fitness, discipline, whatever. But I didn't want to pay any money for it, so almost as if Hamza heard that. A bit later he released Adonis Gang entirely for free. And that was when it completely blew up. I exactly remember the day when I joined Adonis Gang, and I've not been this excited since the pretty girl in my gym smiled at me. It was flooded with informative posts, advice, questions, and interesting debates. It was purely amazing, like a dream come true. But since that day, a lot has changed. At the starting days of Adonis Gang, it only had like a couple thousand members. But if you look at it now, it has 126,000 members, and most of them are actually way below 18 years of age. And the problem with that is that there's just too many uneducated people. Why? If you have the majority of people under 18, then there's very little experience. And I don't blame the random 14-year-old members. I blame the ones who just give advice even when they don't know anything. If you give advice on something you have not really figured out yourself, it would just be stupid. This is why I don't make videos on how to get girls easily, because I just don't know it yet. I have never really been a player, so why should I tell anyone how to do it? I don't know. So these 14-year-olds, they just don't really know yet how to approach life correctly, and don't get me wrong, they're on a good path, but they just need more experience in order to really be able to give advice. And it's not their fault, but these people should not be giving advice on most things. But of course, there are exceptions. For example, when the topic does not have anything to do with experience, but it's just about, for example, what type of food is healthy. You can just research this, so a 14-year-old can do this as well. The problem is not only that they give advice, these uneducated people. And when I say uneducated, I don't only mean 14-year-olds, for example, or young people, but just uneducated people in general. Most of them are young, that's why I say 14-year-olds. These uneducated people also ask extremely dumb questions. And when there's 126,000 members, of course, there will be a good amount of stupid posts, etc. Merely because of the high amount of members. And every group has idiots, but they stick out more if the group is bigger. And this creates another problem. There are too little high quality posts compared to these dumb ones. And when I say quality posts, what I mean is interesting questions, realizations people had, and the stories they tell, or just guides on, for example, how to get fit. But many guides are written in this ChatGPT clickbaity type. They are not written in a way that is actually comprehensible by a human being to actually learn something from it. They are written like a script or something, but that's just not effective. If you've read any book related to self-development, you know that they're written with a lot of stories, for example, and a lot of examples in those stories, and also a fair amount of repetitions of the wisdom it tries to teach. And this makes sense because this is how we learn, not by reading through 20 bullet points in 3 minutes. You have to hear things many times in order to really remember them. Do you really think you remember anything at all if you read through 20 bullet points in 3 minutes? I am 99% sure that it is not possible. And I'm sorry for the quick rant on those clickbaity guides, but I actually think that they are solely written for the purpose of leveling up these people's school account, which I think is okay to want to level up your school account. But don't do it by farming likes with these clickbaity guides that are actually like hyper edited videos. The people reading them don't even realize this. They think the guides are useful, but in reality, you don't really learn anything. If you want to level up your school account, which I understand because it gives you some sort of social proof, in Adonis Gang at least, so it's understandable, do it like I did it. I'm currently level 6, but I have not used Adonis Gang for a while, but I looked for questions and posts which I thought I knew about the topic. And then I just gave genuine advice that was not generic but really personal, something that fits the person who really asked their story, so that fits their situation. Advice that I would give to my younger brother or my son if I had one. And by no means are all these guides bad, but unfortunately, a majority of them are. They're just a little amount of quality guides because, like I already said, because I feel like most of the people doing them have the wrong intentions, like trying to level up their Adonis Gang account. And if that wasn't enough, there are so many trash, bad posts. And I'm not talking about the guides, but generally the ones that are just garbage. Uh, Terrible English, dumb information, no information on the situation at all. And these posts just do not get deleted quickly enough, or even if at all. And I think this is due to the lack of admins in Adonis Gang. Recently, Adonis Gang grew a lot, and I think this is because Hamza tried to maximize the community's growth for the school games. You may have heard of it, but it was just basically this competition on the website school, and the one who had the biggest community would win, I don't know what, probably some money as well, or subscription, I don't know. And this is, of course, understandable, and he actually won, so congratulations to him. But I think it was a mistake because Adonis Gang is now filled with people who he said himself doesn't even want as an audience. Recently, he talked in a video about how he attracted many people on stage one of self-improvement, but he wants to talk more about the deeper stages, like, for example, the advanced business stuff, and not the no-fab stuff, because that is just not relatable for him anymore. I think actually also with Adonis School, which I don't really know, I'm just assuming, because I'm not in Adonis School. I think Adonis School as well has gotten too big. There are too many people, so it doesn't really have this wholesome atmosphere anymore, and they're not as close and personal. If it's 2,000 people compared to, for example, 50 people like it was at the beginning. And all this led to Adonis Gang actually becoming like Hamza's Discord server in a way. At the start, Adonis Gang was great because there were just very little people, but as you already know, this changed really fast. And the fact that, relatively spoken, there are very few quality posts now is really unfortunate because some of the discussions and questions were very interesting and insightful and helpful as well. And of course, they're still there, but I stumble upon them very rare compared to how it was in the beginning. And this video may sound a bit like Hamza hate, but I actually really respect him. He's helped me a lot and encouraged me a lot. I just say what I believe to be the truth, and in this case, this unfortunately goes against Hamza's community. I said that Adonis Gang became like Hamza's old Discord server, but in a way it also became like a YouTube homepage with self-improvement videos, but all of them are trash. From these like small YouTubers with 10 subscribers, exactly like me, except my videos are actually amazing. You should watch all of them. Jokes aside, Hamza tried to save this all by these mega threads. So what he did was he just deactivated the posts and then did, for example, a post that was named relationship mega thread, and there people could ask questions related to relationships, or just tell stories or give advice or whatever. And this was a bad solution, and I think he realized this. If your question is a comment on another post and is not its own post, then I just think it's really annoying. It's also harder to find, and it's just a bit confusing. What he did then was he just opened the posts again a few days after, and this was like 1 week ago, I think. But for now, this hasn't really changed anything. If Adonis Gang is usable again, then I will 100% make an updated video preaching Adonis Gang and saying how amazing it has become and how it's transformed over the days or months or years. But for now, I don't use it, and I think you should not do it too. At least if you're a bit advanced on self-improvement. If you're really at the beginning, then I think you can do it, but if you're a bit advanced, there's just no point. You will literally find better videos by just scrolling through your YouTube homepage. Adonis Gang is kind of like scrolling through your YouTube homepage, except that the videos that pop up don't get recommended because they're good, but because they're new, you know. So it's like a YouTube homepage with bad videos, like I mentioned earlier. If you think about it, Adonis Gang is actually not better than social media or YouTube scrolling because the knowledge you get is actually very limited. And lots of people just found themselves, doom scrolling, like on their phones and just wasting time on Adonis Gang. And someone on Adonis Gang actually said this, made a post about it, and many people could relate. But this post actually got banned, and I think he actually got banned for that. And if you want to find out more on that situation, I made a video on this, which kind of blew up, at least for my standards. So maybe you'll enjoy it, but I'm gonna try to link it somewhere up there, So as I said and hinted many times now, at least for now, don't use Adonis Gang if you're advanced. And of course, you shouldn't scroll on YouTube like a mindless zombie either, but for now, I think Adonis Gang is just not worth your time. Maybe if you have a specific question about your situation and you need advice, if you write a good detailed post, then someone on the Adonis Gang might actually be able to give you good advice. And you can certainly do that, but what I recommend as well is to just leave your concerns and your questions here down there in the comments. I'm quite certain I have a solution for it, and if I don't, then I will tell you how you can find one for yourself. And I'm being genuine, I really mean this. If you have something on your mind right now, just drop it right here. No one's going to see it except for me and some other awesome guys who watched this video this far. I say this because I don't want you walking around all day, carrying your burdens and concerns without talking to someone. So if there's a slight tiny chance that I might be able to help you, just write a comment for your own good. I'll respond fairly quickly. And I don't say this to get more views or anything. Comments are actually useless regarding the YouTube algorithm. I just really want you to get help and advice somewhere, even if it's from some YouTube guy you don't know too well yet. But you will see more of me in the future, so don't worry about that. Drop your question, thoughts, and whatever may concern you right now, and I'll try and help. And maybe some other people can also come in and try to help you. With all that said, I wish you genuinely an amazing day, and I wish you the best on your journey.